September marks the return of spring, as we all know, but that's not all. At this time of the month, Heritage Day and Bright Day preparations are fully underway. But before you dig into proudly South African meals, remember that September is also Heart Awareness Month. This year, the Heart and Stroke Foundation trying to create awareness about the link between an unhealthy lifestyle and heart disease. They've embarked on campaigns that shine the spotlight on the excessive use of salt and cigarette smoking. The foundation's Chief Executive Officer, Pamela Naidoo, joins us now just to tell us how the campaign has been going. Pamela, good afternoon. Welcome to today. We are in the third week of your campaign of this Heart Awareness Month. Before we delve into the challenges about heart disease and all of that, how has your campaign been doing in the last 2 weeks?
Thank you so much, Dan. It's wonderful to be on your program. So it's been doing really well. I think that, people are learning all the time, and there's new evidence around some of the causes and what are the risk factors for cardiovascular disease, including heart disease. And so it's been a huge learning curve, I guess, for many people in our country. So it's been going really well. Thank you.
Okay, this week, every week I see you themed. There's a theme for every week. What is the theme for this week? And tell us why you've chosen these different weekly themes.
Yeah, so, I think that it's such a complex matter because I think a lot of people just equate having a heart attack as heart disease. And, the more you learn about it, you realize that there's so many different types of heart conditions that are linked to the circulatory system. So it's the way that your heart would function, the efficiency of the heart as a muscle, and, the ability of the heart to basically take the oxygenated blood throughout your body, literally, to have all your organs function well. So I think the idea is to not see the heart as an independent organ from the rest of the body. However, having said that, there are certain specific risk factors for heart disease and strokes, of course. And this week, we're really focusing on hypertension and diabetes because amongst all the risk factors, these are the two very common and evidence-based risk factors that we know we can control to be able to prevent or to mitigate the severity of a heart condition. Should I tell you a little bit more about what actually drives hypertension and diabetes?
Yeah, you can, because I was just about to ask you, why is it that year in and year out we seem to be stuck? We are not improving our lifestyles, and hence we get exposed and become vulnerable to all kinds of heart diseases and therefore strokes.
Yes. So if one just sticks with our theme for this week, what we've tried to do is, if you look from a young child, people actually have a misconception that babies and children can't have a heart condition, and indeed they can. So go on our website and you'll see a lot more of that information. But I think that the older one gets, the more prone one is to, medical conditions, including heart disease. So if you look at the National Strategic Plan of the National Department of Health, we have a plan that goes from 2022 to 2027. And two important risk factors that are, picked up there is hypertension and diabetes. But if we just take hypertension as one example of why we are unable to control this very strong risk factor, is because hypertension in our country, 1 in 3 adults actually are hypertensive. A very few of our people are controlled hypertensive. So the danger lies in the fact that if you are uncontrolled by way of being diagnosed and not taking your medication, it's a problem in itself. However, because it's a silent condition, many people actually do not even know they are hypertensive until they go for a screening check or to their GP or specialist, and their blood pressure is spiking, over 140 or 150. So, that is problematic because that's when you literally can fall down and die from being severely hypertensive.
So, in the interest of time, Pamela, we're just running out of time now. It's important to get your your blood pressure checked as often as you are able to check. And of course, as you've said, what we do and what we eat is very important. But if you look ahead now, you've got one more week to go of Heart Awareness Month. What would be the one key thing you think you want to leave with South Africans who are listening now to say, please, in order to make sure you live healthily in terms of your heart, this thing you must do, or this thing you must not do?
Yes, absolutely. And I'm going to go with your prompt on the screen, which is the dangers of salt and smoking. So in this last week coming up, we want to look at what we call cumulative risk. And if you can just do a couple of things, I think it's in your control to do so, because 70% of these risk factors can be controlled by awareness and by action. So watch your salt intake, because it's directly linked to hypertension. Tobacco smoking it's totally not good for you. And so therefore we support the tobacco bill to be passed into legislation, because there's more than enough evidence that it's dangerous. So think about what adds to the risk factors, the additional risk, and then you can calculate your total risk from that.
Thank you very much, Pamela. Sorry to cut you there. We've run out of time, but the message is loud and clear. That's Pamela Naidoo, the CEO of the Heart and Stroke Foundation.